Hey, what's going on, familia? This is Luis Rodriguez,
Yahir Vasquez.
and welcome to the new episode of Talking N3, episode 6. Yahir, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and we have gotten some comments about how cool our set is, and also just to show folks that are watching, this isn't going to be great audio content, but it's not just for show, right? Some of these things actually work. So if I can do the honors.
As we speak, Luis is getting up right now to crack some modelos open for us. Just so you know, it is 5 o'clock somewhere. We are willing to get drunk, and we want to have some fun today. I know we have a lot of outrageous takes, or at least I do. And I think that's going to be fun, man. Luis is struggling right now. Play-by-play about how Luis can't open a Modelo bottle. Tell me, does he... Oh, here goes the first one. It finally opened. All right. Now the next one is coming up. Oh, he's struggling again.
Okay, this thing has to come off the wall.
Oh, man. He's breaking the set already.
I'm breaking the set.
Oh, and it exploded. If Luis smells like beer when he gets home, we take full responsibility for this. But now he's gonna smell like a really fun guy on the weekend.
I smell like a fun guy every day.
No, you smell like a good guy. Now you smell like a fun guy.
Whew. Can't believe that.
It's Modelo time, right?
I guess, yeah.
So today we'll actually be talking about CONCACAF Nations League and the squad that Diego Coca decided to take. We'll also be talking a little bit about the U17s and how great they've been over the years. And we'll cap it off with a little recap of the Mexicans out in Europe and abroad and how good they've been. You excited for that, Luis?
Dude, I still can't get over all this beer I spilled on myself.
He's having a tough time.
I'm having a tough time.
We're going to get our producer a beer, too, because it's 5 o'clock somewhere, how we keep saying.
Hook up super producer Dale. All right, before we get into it, salud. Salud.
It's gonna be a good show. I can feel it already.
Okay, so this is fresh. This is a nice, fresh, cold one, just like the fresh roster that Diego Coca finally got to unveil after his announcement not long ago. I think, okay, so 34 players?
34 players.
34 players. I think he's kind of covering his bases. Some players probably still got left off. But with 34, I mean, you're not going to get a lot of complaints of a lot of people saying, well...
Andrés Guardado and Héctor Herrera most notably
most
left off.
notable absences. But I think on this show, while we're grateful for them and their...
contributions?
And their contributions, for sure, we're ready for a generational change. Mm-hmm. And so, thank you to HH and El Principito. But, I mean, I think their time on El Tri is coming on. With that, I mean, Guardado is still getting minutes, notable minutes with Betis, which is awesome. Yeah. And I think he just even said he wants to play an additional year.
Which is insane to me. I just remember watching him as a kid, and I was like, my favorite player of all time. And then I'm 27 now, and he still keeps going.
Right? Yeah, no, I give him a lot of props. So those are notable absences, but some notable additions that we didn't see at the World Cup. We'll get a little bit more into talking about this guy later, but our guy, Santi Jimenez.
Really excited to see him back in the Mexico squad for sure.
Right. I think Julian Araujo was included. Yeah,
Julian Araujo was. We also got Israel Reyes. Which I think, and Marcel Ruiz.
Marcel Ruiz, yes.
Those might be the four that I'm really, really excited for. Young guys that have kind of sputtered a little bit in Liga MX. Not Santi, but, or Julian, but like Marcel Ruiz and Israel, they were good, but sputtered in the way that they didn't get the move they wanted to out of Europe. Marcel Ruiz right now killing it with Toluca, having a great season. Then you also have Israel Reyes, who, in my opinion, might be the top young center back in Mexico right now. I
mean, he's coming on. It's in Mexico, yes, probably the top best young center back. I mean, the competition right there is as far as El Tri is Cesar Montes, who's doing well with Espanyol immediately. plugged in as a starter, and he's been consistently there. Joan Vasquez, who's so-so with Cremonense in Italy Serie A, but he's getting the minutes, and they pulled off some
Upsets.
I think they beat like Roma. So I always feel good about the back line. And I mean, it's going to be a battle on the outsides, with our guy Arteaga with the neck tat.
I love neck tat. I'm a neck tat guy, dude. I don't have one because I get in trouble with my wife, but I'm a neck tat guy all the way.
The year? Does it have to be the year?
No, just
it could be any neck tat.
As long as it's nothing offensive, I'm all for it. Like, no, dude, I'm a neck tie guy, dude. I like Arteaga. Arteaga might be my favorite player on that back line.
Yeah, and his team is, I believe, leading the Belgian league. So that's one of our guys abroad who's
performing well.
But and his team is set to lift the trophy. Hopefully, I am thinking that he's been at Belgium long enough that he's. I'm gonna use a big word here. He's matriculating out of Belgium. Hopefully, he gets to transfer to one of the top 3 or so leagues in Europe here. But
I'd agree with you if I knew what that word meant.
Matriculate is like graduate, right?
I'm asking you. You're the one that brought it up.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that's what it's like. And then on the other side, I got. There you go.
Oh,
there you go.
Super producer Dalen coming in with the
super producer. But then on the other side, you got Jorge Sanchez. You got
who's been really bad with Ajax. Honestly, I will give credit to European players, but we also gotta say, hey, you know what? Maybe he's not doing as well as he should. Still glad he made the jump and he's pushing himself, so I give him credit for that. I just wish he would improve his play a little bit, which sometimes it's not all on him. That whole back line seems to be in a disarray right now.
Well, one person in that back line is our guy, Edson Alvarez, and usually more of a defensive mid, but Ajax is using him as a center back lately. That's I don't know if that's affecting or not. I mean, as far as I know, Edson's doing well, and the interest from top leagues, specifically Premier League, hasn't really fell off.
Hasn't waned.
So he's doing good. Other guys on the outside, though, our guy we mentioned, Araujo, but Kevin Alvarez, man, he's been crushing it with Pachuca.
Kevin Alvarez is all dope. Really dope.
He's at a level it's like Liga MX is too small for him now. Like he needs to move on.
Isn't it crazy how much depth you have on those wing backs now?
It's amazing.
Mexico always had good wing backs, but it didn't have depth after the wing backs. You had Layun and Paulo Aguilar. Those are the two last great ones I remember that I was like, I love these guys. These guys are great. Play them every game. But after that, you didn't have much. Gallardo? Oh, man. Don't get me started on Gallardo. But no, man, and Gallardo got called up again.
He got called up too.
But you still got Angulo. You got Julian Araujo. Yeah. You got Arteaga. You got Kevin Alvarez. You got Jorge
there's a
Sanchez.
lot of depth and guys that could go on either side. So.
Exactly. And I think that's great. And when I saw this roster come out, my first thought was the back line is the strength of this team right now. The defense is the strength of this team.
Yeah, it's pretty solid, which, will be really good for a Diego Coca team who Diego Coca is kind of known to play a lot more conservative. Mm-hmm. So when we mentioned in the last show, maybe now under him that Mexico starts playing, building out of the back, like the back is the strength and the key is to post those shutouts. To do shutouts, though, you need a good keeper. We got Ochoa, but Acevedo finally got called up.
About time.
Acevedo.
What is it, his third call-up or something like that?
Maybe, yeah.
It's not his first, but it's also not as much as he should have.
And we got one of the surprises was Toño Rodriguez.
From Tijuana?
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad keeper. He's fine, but nothing that really stood out to me.
But who do you take as your third? David Ochoa is not playing with the first team.
He's not playing in San Luis right now. I don't know what's going on with that. That's concerning.
It is concerning
for sure.
You got I forget his name, the goalkeeper out in Spain that's part Spanish and Mexican.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I don't
remember his name. Bilbao, but yeah. I think his name is Ochoa too. But anyways,
it could be they're all named Ochoa.
When in doubt, you're talking about a Mexican goalie. His name's Ochoa.
Yeah. But again, who do you bring out besides Tonio? there's not, in my opinion, there's not a lot of young options or nothing that you can really like lean on. Be like, this should be the guy that's going out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess they could go with the hot hand. Chivas defense has been really impressive, and with that is their goalie. But yeah, I mean, I can't complain. If anything, Tonio Rodriguez has the experience. He was part of the Olympic team that won the gold medal. So, I mean, he's done big things. But jumping back up the line, up in the formation, do we just pencil in Luis Chavez as a starter?
You
right
should.
Now? He's the in form and the best midfielder that Mexico has still.
You think he's the best midfielder? Edson Alvarez doesn't qualify as a midfielder for you? That's what I want to ask first. Like, is Edson your midfielder or is he a center back? They have him listed as a midfielder.
He's a defensive mid, but if they are to say Coca does alter the lineup, we've got 3 center backs.
Would you like to have Edson in that middle pivot?
Edson in the middle as a pivot. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with that. So, okay. I mean, yeah, I guess Edson could count as a midfielder. But for this argument's sake, we'll say Mexico's formation is switching to 3 center backs. And then after that,
3-4-2 or something like that.
Yeah, and then after that, I don't see right now anybody better than Luis Chavez. Well,
Eric Sanchez is pretty good.
Eric Sanchez is good, but does he benefit from playing alongside of Luis Chavez at Pachuca?
He might, but it's another player that outgrew the league. You can look at the Pachuca squad and you can be like, half of these players have outgrown the league.
Man, they're doing yeoman's work for the federation. Like they're carrying the federation's water right now by how they're developing young Mexican talent, and it's leading to a really good, a fun team to watch too.
And also, it's like, why didn't you just hire Diego Almada? And that would have been way easier, and you would have kept developing.
Well, we covered that in the last episode. There's a lot of interests and political stuff at play.
It is. But it's like, as a fan, you're just like, I need them to be good. I need them to do what's best for the team.
I don't want to go way off topic, but we need to just briefly mention, talking about political things at play. Yon de Luisa, the president of FMF, announcing he's not going to run for re-election. To me, that's like the captain of the Titanic jumping on, getting the first lifeboat after he's already steered them into the igloo, the iceberg.
The igloo. They went on land and just crashed into an igloo.
They kept going past the iceberg right to the igloo. But, bro, like, we already had our worst World Cup performance ever. Didn't qualify for Olympics. Didn't qualify for U20. The course has already been set.
The women's team is doing bad as well, which he actually runs.
Yeah, they didn't qualify when they hosted the qualifying tournament. Like, come on, man. But like he all these things came into play under his watch, and he's like, I'm out.
Well, yeah, because he knows he's messing up. Now there's hope. Again, it's gonna be a hard couple of years. Well, whoever comes in and actually tries to steady the course, but it's better than having him keep doing. The definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So maybe it's time for a change. Maybe it does suck that he did all these bad things.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't think if it came down to a real election that he would
win again.
He would win again. But with that said, it's a cop out.
It is a cop out, but it's better to guarantee yourself not having him here than actually have to go through that nerve wracking. Is he going to get reelected? Because I think he's done a horrible job.
I mean, it hasn't. Yeah, no. I mean, the results speak for themselves.
Exactly.
The results speak for themselves. So, didn't want to go way off topic, but wanted to touch on that.
No. Again, that's an important thing, especially talking El Tri. It affects the whole organization, not just like the Mexican national team. It affects the women's national team, the U17, the U20s, the academy kids. It affects everybody involved.
Yep. So, and then at forwards, like I said, Santi, but So one thing I do notice is there is a good mix of veterans still kind of sprinkled in.
Yeah.
And one of them, Raul Jimenez, is still on the list.
Which I don't understand why, but I get why.
He's still getting minutes at Wolves. He's not scoring, but he's getting minutes.
It's also like, who else do you call up? What other striker do you have at a 9 that you think is a good? Funes Mori?
Funes Mori's in good form, but he didn't get called up.
Exactly, but is it like, are they trying to stray away from like calling up dual nationals?
No.
Or like nationalized players? Because there's not a single one in the squad.
Not one.
Is it more like they're trying to like? I feel like Diego Coca is trying to build good a good relationship with the fan base, and they know how much they didn't like Funes Mori.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like that's more of a political decision than actually like a player decision.
I think you're digging really deep. Don't get me wrong. It could be that could be part of the influence.
I mean, nobody wanted Diego Coca.
Nobody.
Like really, like nobody was like super hyped to have Diego Coca on board as the Mexico.
Well, the new national team commission did, and that's who hired him.
Exactly, but
His
like
buddies.
fan base.
His buddies, but the fans, nobody was like.
Oh my God, give me Diego Coca. Everybody wanted Diego Almada. Everybody wanted.
Maybe Atlas fans.
I mean,
Maybe Atlas fans who were like, he won us 2 titles.
Atlas players.
You need that guy.
Yeah, Atlas players are like,
Atlas
now I
players
may
looking
get
to
a call up.
Yeah, yeah, but okay, so
No
yeah,
Chicharito either or Carlos Vela.
that ship has sailed.
You
Ray.
think so?
It's gone, bro. It is.
You really think so?
I just can't. I can't. Unless Chicharito goes on a tear, I'm talking like,
Well, Chicharito's hurt too, to be fair.
and he's hurt.
Yeah.
But
What about Carlos Vela?
no,
He's still tearing it up.
But he said like his time is done. He's not gonna take another call up. So that
It's
ship
so
is
disappointing
sailed.
because that's probably the best player Mexico has right now.
Right now.
Right? Not right now, but I want to say the most talented player. I think he is the most talented Mexican player in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna disagree.
Yeah.
But like right now.
Maybe not right now. I'll say
We'll see.
most talented. I can't say anybody with as much talent as him
He's got. I mean, when he wants to, he could take over again.
because he's developed. That's the thing. Like Santi's not developed. Edson still has a few years to get fully to his full potential. You have players that can be better than him, but they're not at their peak yet. And Carlos is kind of at his peak, which makes him the most talented right now.
Okay.
It's not that he's the best. It's just like he's the most talented because he knows what he's doing. But getting back to it, you also have no Tecatito either. Tecatito's still injured, still
injured.
coming back. Irving Lozano, who was a Champions League Player of the Week.
Champions League Player of the Week. How about that? Huh?
Chucky Lozano, man, dude, he is in form right now.
He's in form.
And his team is playing great.
Yeah,
He's gonna.
man,
He might hoist up 2 trophies, 3. Can he get the treble?
Hey man, just with the Scudetto, that would be huge.
Yeah, like-
because no Mexicans won that. So that would be. I'm not saying I root for every European team that has a Mexican on it. So yeah, I'm like every Osimhen goal. I'm like, yeah, Napoli.
And Chucky Carvalho, like last game, had an assist. If it wasn't for Osimhen not missing the net.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no. So Chucky's doing great. It's good to see him there. A guy that's really in form is Orbelin Pineda.
Oh, dude,
He
I
got called
love
up as a forward, and I mean, going to Athens has done wonders for him. So much so that people in Celta de Vigo are receiving a lot of criticism that they let him just walk and they didn't give him enough minutes.
This is what I'm talking about, man. You need Mexican players in Europe. It's not even for yourself. It's for the rest of your countrymen. If you go out there and do good, teams are gonna start looking at Mexico and be like, "Can I get one of those guys? Is there one
I
of them?
get one?
Yeah, is there one of them for me?" And there's plenty of them. There's a lot of talented Mexicans
Absolutely.
out in the Liga MX. So like going out there, you're not just doing a service for yourself and your paycheck. You're doing a service also for your countrymen in your country. Like, and it's hard to like look at the broader picture. But being out there really does get names out there.
Oh,
for
not
Mexicans.
just that, but like those teams also receive, they receive stuff in the form of like huge followings.
Exactly.
Like man, immediately when Mexican players arrive to a club, like their social media followings and all that stuff just like skyrockets.
You think Napoli doesn't have like a huge Mexican contingent now?
Right? Absolutely. No, they do. They
So,
do.
like exactly, like that's what I'm talking. Like European players. Like when I say that I want Mexicans out of Europe, it's not because I don't like the Liga MX. I think Liga MX is the best league in North America, and it competes with the best league in maybe all of the Americas.
Yes.
Maybe top 2, 3, honestly.
Easily.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, it's not about Liga MX being bad. It's about developing, getting your name out, and being better with the top players in the world.
Right.
And I think Orbelin has done a great job of that. And then you also have Santi, who's done a great job. Raul Jimenez did it for a long time in the Premier League. It just works out at the end.
Yeah.
But then you also have players like Henry Martin, who's also in the squad that can come in and help some of these young guys and help the guys that are in the Liga MX and become a great leader as well.
Yeah, as far as domestic guys, Henry Martin And
On a
another,
complete tear.
and another surprise call was a young cat with Pachuca, Roberto de la Rosa, who's really young. Doesn't have like the form of late that Funes Mori did, but he scored against America recently, so maybe the call up gave him some confidence.
I will say about a year or two ago, I got him every time in my FIFA game.
Oh,
In my career mode, I always want to go by Roberto de la Rosa because he was
okay.
big, he was fast, and
Maybe
great
that's it. Maybe
header.
they see the all that as
Positive.
positives and things they want to develop. But so going back, all this, the call up it's not just for not, although there is a camp for domestic players for Coca to check them out, but there's games down the road. They're playing
Suriname.
Nations League, the mighty Suriname and Jamaica.
And we're probably gonna see the domestic players a lot more in the first game.
Well, they're FIFA dates. They're FIFA dates. So
Yeah, but like against what name, you might get the Savedos. You're probably gonna get the Kevin Alvarez. You're gonna get a little bit of more of that, like domestic players trying to get their feet under. In the second game, you'll probably get more of the traditional starters, which is like the Edsons, You're gonna get the Raúl Jiménez, Orbelín Pinedas, all these other players.
Yeah.
The Memo Ochoa's maybe might even be.
And it's going to
there.
be competitive because Jamaica has called up a couple Premier League players. So
Yeah,
it'll be a competitive game, if anything.
again, I'm excited for it. I think Mexico's gonna do really well. I think Mexico will qualify for the South Copa America.
Copa America. Yeah.
They're very talented. I'm really excited to see what Diego Coca does because Mexico has tried to play a certain way. It hasn't worked for them. They haven't won. Let's see if we change it up and maybe we get something going.
Well, they don't have a choice, So we've made our bed. Got to lie in it.
You don't seem very excited about this, Luis. It feels
I
like
mean,
we're
more
switching
so,
off right
it's
now,
not
and you're
that-
an unusual personality.
No, man, you're the one with the hot fire takes.
Exactly, and it feels like right now you're
It's not
like
that I'm not excited. It's just that like
you need to see first.
I need to see first, but also like how can I get excited about Suriname and Jamaica?
Jamaica's
But it's
a
what
fun
we have.
matchup.
It's that's what's there. That's what's in front of them. They got to take care of that business. And yes, Nations League. Just in general, CONCACAF kind of restructured qualifying. And newsflash, Mexico, U.S., and Canada are already qualified for the World Cup. But through Nations League, CONCACAF teams will qualify for Gold Cup, Copa America, and the World Cup. And it all kind of builds on itself.
Which is good. It builds CONCACAF up. Everything
That's-
needing something is good.
Is that Mexico's job to build up the
lower But it's
tier
not
teams?
Mexico though. Like around the world, you have this all the time. You have Italy playing small countries. It happens in Europe. It happens in South
Oh
America.
yeah, Italy played North Macedonia. And what happened to them?
Exactly. But it built the whole thing up. Like you're part of a federation. You need to if the federation does good, you do good because at the end, exposure.
Well, yeah. So we'll see. But yes, as far as Copa America qualified, or Nation League for Copa America, Mexico is already one of the 4 teams already qualified for the quarters.
Yeah.
And so they've teed it up pretty well so that Mexico and U.S. don't miss Copa America. Because even if they, for whatever reason, don't win their quarterfinal games, there's still one more playoff opportunity to get one of 2 spots.
They're trying to make it so easy for them. I'm going to be so
God
disappointed if they miss.
God bless CONCACAF.
Dude.
Yeah. Speaking of CONCACAF, though, Mexico has a champion.
Mexico
in the
are
region.
champions.
Mexico are champions of U17 again.
They're just the U17s dominate, man.
It's crazy, man.
This
It's crazy. No, like literally, they gave up 2 goals the whole tournament, and they had plenty of games that were like 5-0, 6-0. It's crazy.
and this is my thing, man. I'm a big the kids play the kids. I want the kids to be out there and develop. And this is what's so frustrating about Mexico, that they have great kids. They have young players that are willing to go out there and give it all for their country, give it all for everybody. And the most frustrating part is that they can develop past the U17s. But it comes back to my whole thing. And again, I'm sorry that this is why Mexico players are soft. Once they get comfortable,
You have to use that word again.
it's the S word. It sucks. But once they're comfortable, they're done trying. These are kids that are looking for opportunities. These are kids that are talented and want to be the best out there. But once they get comfortable, they're like, why would I keep going? They're just looking for comfortability instead of winning. They don't got winning mentalities in them.
Well, clearly they have winning mentality because they went out and dominated that tournament. But somewhere along the way, it gets lost, and I think it has to do with opportunities. I hate to jump back to MLS of all places, but there are teenagers on MLS rosters, first team MLS rosters. I think right now, so far in the season, the youngest player to play was like 18.
16
in Liga MX.
Oh, and
Liga MX.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Liga MX right now is lacking those opportunities for a teenager to really get his opportunity. Whereas MLS, they suit him up. They have no problem.
Yeah.
Throwing a kid into the fire.
Wayne Rooney in DC United just played a 16-year-old academy kid. And they're like, go ahead. Let's see what you can do. They 16. Do it all the time. Julian Araujo got his first chance, I think, at 17. The Colorado Rapids signed a 16-year-old Darren Yappy to play for them.
Right.
Out of their academy.
Right.
They're willing to give these players opportunities.
Yeah.
And develop their players, which I think it's the thing that's lacking a lot in Mexico.
Is it development, or is it just like either a lack of urgency or still trying to maybe go the cheaper route? Liga MX teams don't have a problem going out and buying.
Well, I agree with you, but if we look at like Pachuca's willing to go with the young kids. Pachuca's willing to develop. Pachuca signs them young and lets them be on the first team. It's not
that young,
but younger than most Liga MX teams.
Not U17.
Not U17, but young enough where they're still like 20 years old, and they give an opportunity. Why? Maybe because they are cheaper. Maybe because they don't have the bank that maybe America, Chivas, Monterrey, and Tigres has. But what happens when you do develop your players, your young players, and you make them? You get the Kevin Alvarez, you get the Luis Chavez, you get the Eric Sanchez.
Yeah.
You get all these players that even if it's like because you're a cheaper team, it does help at the end of the day if you know how to develop them. It's a little bit Moneyball style of it, but it does help at the end of the day because you're creating a smaller payroll, you're still making money overhead while still having a good team. It might suck for a couple years.
But if you don't have that's the thing. They don't want to suck for a couple years.
But it's true, you don't, but they still do anyways.
America's
not good. Chivas is not good. They haven't won championships since 2017 and 2018.
But they're still there.
But what's the point if you're not winning championships?
Chivas
was not contending the last couple of years.
You want to get butts in the seats.
But even like Chivas was not contending the last couple of years.
They don't have like a shiny new facilities like a St. Louis or whatever. That's just gonna bring people regardless. Like they have to rely on. I think, to not fall off. Too far away from people's getting the attention to keep attracting people. I don't know. But there's, for whatever reason, a more sense of urgency, less patience in Liga MX. And I'm not saying it's good because, I think some of these kids could play at that level. Which, man, speaking of that, Figueroa, this kid from Honduras, Minor Figueroa's kid, holy cow, that guy, that kid could play. He could go play top 5 league right now.
If he wanted to.
Beast. But props to him. But anyways, meanwhile, Mexico won that tournament, with the, stylistically, still being very technical. One of the best players plays in the USL. Barajas plays for Charleston Battery.
Charleston Battery, low-key kind of good, though, in the USL.
This is USL. I don't know,
You know who
why
their
hasn't
coach
an
was?
MLS team swooped him up yet?
You know who their coach was?
No.
Connor Casey, a Rapids legend.
Oh.
That's who but he got fired.
Pride of Denver South.
Denver.
But anyways, yeah. So I don't know if they see those players still needing development at that level, but at that level they dominate, man. So there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect, from that age until 20, because as you said, they dominate in that age group. They've won 2 World Cups, just since 2005. They've won 2 World Cups and they've been competitive in just about every other one. I think they placed in another. and they placed in a U21 not long ago.
Didn't they get like second place in one and then got like 2 World Cups, something like that? I think they they lost the last one.
That was a U20.
Oh, U20.
No, either way.
Yeah.
Either way, they're great with the youth levels. It's just disconnect and getting them.
I mean, you look all the way back to 2005. You have Carlos Vela, you have Pablo Barrera, Efrain Juarez, Giovanni Dos Santos, players that actually
Hector
went
Moreno
into the
was on that
Hector
team.
Moreno, players that actually went to the first team.
Yeah.
And then after that, like after 2005, Carlos Fierro is a mainstay in Liga MX. But
he was on the 2011 team.
Exactly, 2011. After 2005, you really have nobody that made that jump.
Okay, yeah.
Like 2005, you have nobody that made that jump up to like the first team. Carlos Fierro, mainstay, never really showed up for the Mexican team. You have La Momia. He's actually playing pickup soccer on the weekends because he doesn't have a team and he's working a regular job now. Like there's such a big disconnect between where they are at the U17s and the academies and the young players to when they jump to the first team. And what is it? I would love to know what it is. Is it players not working hard enough? Is it opportunities? Like, what's stopping from these players to jumping? Even, like, look back at the last World Cup they lost against the U20s, you said it was, I think, when they lost to Brazil. I think it was right before the pandemic or right after the pandemic.
Yeah.
Eugenio Pisuto went out to France, got injured, got let go, and then now he's on second team in Portugal.
Yeah,
I don't know which one it is.
What other player? Braga, where Lainez was last. Who Lainez also got called up.
Exactly, and again, you look at them and you're like, what's the disconnect here? These are players. Efrain Juarez. Alvarez, sorry, not Juarez. Efrain Alvarez, who's playing for LA Galaxy. Yeah. Where's the disconnect? Why hasn't he made the jump to the first team?
Hey, that's totally different. He's in MLS, man.
But again, there's an issue with him in the MLS. So we can't even blame the Liga MX on that one. Like, we can blame opportunity, but like if he can't even get opportunity in the MLS, and he's not showing it, so is the disconnect with the player? Is it unique to each player? Or is it just like a wider kind of thing that like none of them are really getting there because none of them are being instilled with this mentality that your goal's the first team at the end of the day?
Right.
So like I'm using these examples, not saying because, these are the players that should be the future. I'm using them because it's like, what's going on here? These are the players that I would love to be on the first team that had great World Cups. Going to a finals, even if it's a U20, U17, of a World Cup, it's huge.
It's a big achievement.
So why can't you make that jump? Messi did it. Argentina did it. And look at him.
Oh, man. I mean, that's one big
Messi. Messi, okay. But Argentina...
the greatest player of all time.
But Argentina's U17 team, I think from 2011, or I don't remember which one it was. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It was with Messi before. It was before the 2006 World Cup. It was the 2005 World Cup.
Okay.
Most of them graduated to the first team.
Yeah.
And helped Argentina become a powerhouse again.
No, there was some good players came out of that.
Exactly. Why isn't it happening with Mexico too? The team that actually won the World Cup and actually had really talented players, just like Argentina. What's the disconnect there? And that's what makes me really annoyed with this conversation, that it's not that Mexico doesn't have talented players. It's not that Mexico can't compete with the best in the world.
Yeah.
It's that there's clearly something happening in between the ages of 17 to 20 that is not helping develop players into the best they can be.
Right. I did make a mistake. Figueroa actually played for the U.S.
I was about to say,
his dad, my note is Honduran, but
can Figueroa also play for
he could play
Mexico?
for Honduras. No.
I heard somebody. I could be completely wrong. I thought I heard somebody talking about Figueroa might be Mexican.
I don't know. Well. I'll take him. I'll take him yesterday.
You're taking him right now?
He did not look like a 17-year-old out there. Mm-hmm. He was beast. But
Ballin'.
Yeah. No, but still, it's a trophy. It's getting Mexico back on track after what was a bad cycle.
A trophy-less cycle?
Trophy-less cycle.
Did they only get the Gold Cup that one time?
19? Yeah.
And that's the only trophy they got, right?
That's it, man.
Because Nations League they lost, Gold Cup they lost.
Yeah.
It's been bad. That's clearly no World Cup or I wouldn't be here right now.
Thanks for the reminder.
I mean, it sucks. we're in a world of hurt right now as Mexico fans. And the worst part is that the
I have nothing but hope.
true, like hope, but this is the issue. We're in a world of hurt. And as good fans, we're still here because we support our nation. We support this sport.
Oh, for sure.
In
The next friendly they have, I think it's in Phoenix.
You're going to be there, aren't you? Or try, think about it.
I'm at least gonna try, but it's gonna be 60 or 70,000 Mexicans there.
Exactly. As good Mexicans, the Federation takes advantage
Oh yeah.
of our loyalty and our passion.
Yeah.
If they didn't have the loyalty and passion, I think maybe the Mexican team would be better. And it sucks to say, but it might be a correlation because they don't have to try
we're all
hard.
Suckers? Is that what you're saying? We're all suckers.
Could
so we
be.
make the team. Wow.
It's kind of sucks to say, but it's true. What pushes the Federation to be good? Billetes, some money. And if the Federation is looking that people are still buying their gear, going to every game, selling it out, what's their motivation to make the team better?
Wow, man.
Does it suck to say?
Of course it sucks to say.
But is it kind of true?
No, it's 100% true. And I tell people often, I'm like, yeah, I'm a fan, but really I'm a sucker.
It's it's true, man. Like, it sucks. Like, I buy every kit they drop. I go to the games. Like, whenever they're in Denver, I'm there immediately. Like, the thing is
I don't even need them to come that close. I go
Phoenix,
I go to them.
Vegas. Like, if people are traveling to see them, they had the biggest contingency in the World Cup
for sure
in Qatar. Why would they have to change? They're doing the bare minimum and still making the maximum money available.
Right.
Why should they change? There's no need for them to change because they're not spending any money on the Mexican team. Tell me where the investment is.
No, they built some pretty nice facilities.
The facilities don't win you championships.
No, clearly not.
They care about their personal interest and what they want.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care about the team. They don't care about any of this. And it sucks to say because at the end of the day, they care about the money in their pockets. They care about the money they're making for themselves. And if they're making enough money with us, with them being bad and investing the bare minimum on the team and in the and in the academy, their academies and their coaches, why should they change? There's no reason to change. I'm not saying go boycott the Mexican team. I'm saying we're not giving them a reason to change. They have no reason to change. They get backlash from the media. They go out and say some nice things, and then they're back to whatever they want to do. It is what it is.
It is what it is, but regardless, we got a trophy that gets us back on some sort of track.
Hopefully it goes all the way up so we can win Copa America, Gold Cup, Nations League. Give me all of it. Give me the treble. Give me a World Cup in 2026. Like,
that's what I want to hear. That's the energy I need.
I want it all. Like, I want to dominate and demolish everything and everybody in Mexico's way.
There you go.
Everybody. I want everybody to look at Mexico and say, holy shit, I cannot go there. They will be 7-0. We are the Man U of the Premier League. Get out of here. We're not going to take that.
Wow.
That's what I want Mexico to be. I want Mexico to be dominating these countries.
No, absolutely.
I want Belgium. I want Germany. I want Italy. I want all these great clubs and great teams in Europe to look over at the Americans and look at Mexico and be like, Mexico, Argentina, and Brazil. Be careful of those three.
I think they already say that.
They don't, because they beat us constantly. They think they think Mexico's super talented, but they're like, okay, like, we got to be careful, but it's not a Brazil or Argentina. They're not favorites for anything.
I mean, I guess they probably see a step below, like you said, Brazil and Argentina. But who's working to get us there? Let's talk about some of the players in Europe real quick. You talked about Santi. Yeah. You talked about Chucky.
Being the greatest Mexican to ever walk this earth.
Wow. I mean, he's got his own song.
Yeah,
it's pretty
Chucky
good.
Lozano.
Yes.
Chucky Lozano won every Mexican's World Cup. And we'll get to a little bit Liga MX in a minute as well. But Chucky Lozano won every Mexican's heart in that World Cup. Or was it in Russia in 2018?
Yeah, it was 2018.
Yeah.
2018, but like I said, Champions League Player of the Week. So, I mean, I just wish there was more of those type of recognitions and stuff that we could cite to. Like, see, like we're getting there.
I mean, there's not, unfortunately, and it sucks so much. I think Arteaga's playing great. Jorge Sanchez in the Netherlands is like Mr. Hit. You had Wesley Sneijder out there talking bad about Antoine and Edson and
And
Jorge.
Jorge,
Uh,
that was cold.
Orbelín Pineda is killing it out there as well. He's in Athens, right?
AEK Athens,
He's in Athens.
right?
Then you also have.
Guti's still there.
I'm not a big Guti fan.
I could tell.
I used to really like Guti. He never developed into the player that I wish he would have. I
Right,
think he had the
right.
skill.
Do we think maybe PSV is like his ceiling?
Probably, honestly. Maybe at most he might switch over to like Ajax. And that's about it. But like I think the Netherlands might be maybe a Portuguese team. But
Yeah, no. I mean, imagine if he goes like
Porto.
Benfica or Porto.
I can see him, but I don't think he's a top 5 league player.
Well,
Richie Ledesma's playing really well out there. He might get loaned to NYFC FC. Um,
he's in a battle. He's in a battle with Javi Simmons.
yeah.
For that
I mean,
position.
Javi Simmons is.
And Javi Simmons is he's on the Dutch
He's
national
him.
team.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's good. He's good. So, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Liga MX right now. Before the season, we kind of gave some of our takes, and I said follow the money, and a lot of that money resides in Monterrey. And sure enough, Rayados and Tigres top of the table, but right behind them, a team that a lot of people thought didn't have high expectations of is Chivas, Super Chivas. Interestingly enough, 100% Mexicanos, but won by a Serbian manager, and then Fernando Hierro, the sporting director. He's Spain legend. So neither necessarily Mexican.
They also have some dual nationals in there. They're like they kind of cheated the system a little bit.
Not cheating the system. Those are Mexicans.
Yeah, but
El mexicano nace donde le dé la gana.
again, I agree.
Mexicans
I
are
completely
born wherever
agree
they
with
feel
you.
like being
But like they
born.
kind of cheated the system. Look, let's be honest. They cheated it a little bit, just enough for them to get good.
Who do you got? Rios and well, I mean, technically, they've had a couple for a while.
Yeah, they technically, I'm not like you're completely right. Like, but I'm saying like in the last like 5 years, they've cheated it a little bit more than
It's
usual.
not cheating, man.
That it's not cheating. It's a phrase, but like they've kind of bend the rules enough for them to kind
It's
of.
not bending the rules. They're eligible for El Tri. They're eligible for Chivas. And that's good enough. But Pocho Guzman is playing out of his mind. That team
Snubbed,
has gone into some tough away games and come away with 3 points.
Yeah.
They did it to Monterrey. They did it to Tigres. They're looking good.
I mean, Chivas is surging at the right moment, but are they ready to win it this year? I don't think so. Maybe next year. I can see them next year being like top contenders and being like the team to beat.
Yeah, and that's the thing, with Liga MX, you don't necessarily need to be the team to beat or either.
But it helps though.
Because Liguilla is a godsend. It's a playoff, and anything can happen over 1-2 games. Anything.
For sure. Also, I love Toluca. Toluca is really fun.
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
Yeah, they are like to me they're my funnest squad. Them in Pachuca, especially because they're not the.
I was gonna say says the Pumas guy whose Pumitas are like struggling.
They struggle because they have Fuentes is a bad coach.
Man,
Fuentes
which
has
is
a-
crazy, man. Honestly, if you would have asked me like, I don't know when Fuentes was really doing well at like Querétaro, I think I would be like, yes, that guy's gonna coach El Tri someday. Now I'm like, keep that guy away from El Tri as much as you can.
Keep him in Pumas as much as
Pumas,
you can.
wherever. I don't know. The way the carousel of Mexican coaches works, he'll wind up.
Yeah, you always
He'll
choose the
wind up
worst one that
there.
you can.
Yeah.
You'll see your options like that's the worst one. Let's take him. That's how Mexico works, man. It is what it is. But I'm really excited for Toluca and Pachuca. I love when I don't see the major teams that spend a lot of money do really well.
Yeah.
I think that's good for the league. I think it creates parity. It's fun. It's fun to see Marcel Ruiz out there killing it.
Yeah.
It's fun to see like the Kevin Alvarez out there killing it. It's just good for the league. Because everybody can spend money if you got the money.
Yeah.
That's kind of an unfair advantage. But if you can develop your players and really go out there and look for good players in the league that are being used correctly, it's fun. It's great. It's
Who's
good
not
to-
having fun? Oh man, that America goalie, man.
Oh, he's
They're
bad.
missing. They're missing. Oh, man, we always forget to talk about guy doing well in Europe. Memo Ochoa, but
I don't forget.
America's
I actively
missing him.
avoid it.
You purposely.
I love
ignore
Memo. I'm
him.
not a Memo hater. It's just like we've talked. Everybody talks so much
He's
about
got a
him.
couple shutouts for Salernitana. He's being talked about to go to one of the Milans next season. Like,
There's again. I'm just like everybody talks about Memo. Everybody knows who Memo is. Memo is not just a Mexico legend. I think he might be a world legend a little bit.
everybody knows who he is.
Exactly.
But they're missing him at America, man, because they were 100,000 boos raining down on their new goal. I mean, however many people sit in Azteca now, but raining down on that poor kid, man, like that's rough. Ugh.
The rule is you don't play any goalie under 27, unless his name is Acevedo. But again, Liga MX is just gonna get so much more funner.
Yeah,
They are still the Premier League, the best league in the Americas.
good. And we're gonna find out more when we get into like
Leagues Cup.
Leagues Cup, right?
Again, there's maybe 3 teams on the MLS that can compete with Mexican teams.
Right.
That would be like the LAFC. Austin is kind of bad this year.
Oh yeah,
Philly.
really freaking bad. They lost to like some Haitian teams
in
the first round of CONCACAF Champions League.
It was bad. But I mean, there's like 3 to 4 teams that will compete with the Tigres, the Pachucas, the Rayados, which will be make it fun for fun finals. You got like LAFC, you got FC Dallas, which is fun. You got Philadelphia. Like, there's a few out there that Inter Miami, if they get Messi, like the rumors are saying, come in and just completely tear it up in Leagues Cup.
Could be Messi's next destination. Of course, I'd like to see it. Bringing him closer to here, it'd make it to where I would definitely try to go
To Miami to watch an Inter Miami game?
It doesn't have to be Miami. I could go watch him in.
I'd go to Miami to watch an Inter Miami game if Messi's there.
Yeah,
why not? It's fun.
I'll go watch Messi play 5-a-side. Whatever,
Dude,
just put me in front
Messi
of the
plays
goat.
5-a-side, man. Whoever's on that other 5 should just ask for the other 4 players and make it 9 against 1. You're not getting past Messi. Give Messi a goalie and you're done for.
Yeah, so Leagues Cup will be. I don't know. Let's see.
I think Leagues Cup will be fun because I think, even though I think Liga MX has become I think Liga MX is still the best league in the Americas. I think MLS has some really top tier talent that will make League Cups fun. It will make it.
I don't disagree that at the top of the rosters they're pretty even.
Yeah.
It's when you get down the rosters a bit more, and the Liga MX teams can they import more.
Yeah,
expensive
exactly.
talent and things like that.
Exactly. So like maybe if you get like LAFC against Toluca, that'd be a really fun matchup. If you get maybe you can get what's it called? Monterrey versus LAFC, like that'd also be really fun. Like there's a lot of fun games that you could watch. And again, it's just the better competition there is in this side of the world, the better it makes everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for the League Cup.
I'm just curious to see how serious some of the Liga MX teams take it. They don't necessarily tend to
take inter-country
championships. They need to really, give them more incentive.
Money.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of prize money, but
it's not enough to
these
make
guys.
them happy.
Yeah, I was gonna say these guys. They're like, I mean, they make that in like 5 minutes. I don't know.
Again, I think it'll be really fun. I'm excited for Leagues Cup just because of the top tier talent. So
nice. We got some good upcoming competition. I guess we talked about Nations League. So some things to look forward to.
For sure. And now we're going to get to a segment we like to call Recuerdos de Cantaritos.
Recuerdos.
Recuerdos de Cantaritos. The beer is getting to me, guys. I'm done with it almost. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, but it's 11 right now, and it's a little early for your guy. All right. What was your first Mexico game you attended? I can say mine.
Sure.
And it was, I want to say it was 2008 Mexico versus, I think it was Haiti, and they played at Dick's Sporting Goods Park.
Haiti?
I think so. It was like, it was just a friendly. It was like was it Haiti or Bolivia? It was one of those like.
It was Bolivia.
Yeah, it was one of those
I
like.
was there.
Yeah, it was Bolivia. So that was the first one I ever went to. Had a great time. Fell in love with the Mexico team. About 4 years before that, but that was my first time actually watching them live, and had a great time.
Nice.
How about you?
Nice.
What was your first
You
one
want to
you
hear
went to?
mine? It's like, show my age. It's like '02. They played the U.S.
El
as a warm
viejito.
up, game before the '02 World Cup. We got a little testy. Yeah, the U.S. won,
You got
but
testy or the U.S. got?
no,
Or
the
the
game
fans?
did. The
Oh,
game did.
okay.
The U.S. won, but yeah, I specifically remember some pretty aggressive slide tackles by our guy Rafa Marquez,
Love Rafa.
getting frustrated with the things weren't really going their way that night. But it was fun.
Oh,
It
awesome.
was fun. Let's see. What is my? Tell us about your favorite memory watching El Tri. I'll let you take this one first. I'm
Watching
curious.
El Tri, it definitely has to be. I always forget the year. I want to say 2011 Gold Cup where Mexico was down 2-0.
Yeah.
And then they came back and beat the U.S. And Tim Howard, as much as I love him for different reasons, I absolutely loved him graveling on the floor as Giovanni Dos Santos just hits it right in that corner. And you have the U.S. defender right there that
Perfectly placed.
He's like, there's nothing else anybody on that team can do. They did everything correctly, but Giovanni Dos Santos just right where it went.
That's a beautiful memory. I remember. Yeah.
What about yours? What's your favorite memory?
I mean, my favorite memory is I got to scream Chucky Lozano's goal in Moscow in the stadium. So
I mean,
I don't know if that'll ever be topped,
yeah, I mean the top.
but I hope so. Hopefully, in another World Cup, I get to scream goals in a stadium with like my kids or something. That'd be cool.
That actually be really fun.
That would be cool. So
All right.
we're working on it.
Have you met any players from the national team?
Is that a question for me or are you gonna answer?
Both. We both answer these.
Briefly.
Who did you get to meet?
I met Borghetti
Oh, lucky.
in Rush, but it was just like, oh, hey, man, Borghetti, hey. And I got to attend a training session once, and they had like an autograph session at the end. Like they came up to the stands, and some of the players like kind of interacted. Like it was really nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I remember that specifically. Ochoa is really nice, mostly because he makes sure that the kids get to come. So there's some good guys.
Awesome. I've gotten to meet two. I got to meet Hector Herrera.
Hmm.
So he was really nice. He was cool. I actually got to interview. I talked to him a little bit as an interview, and then I got to meet Sage. Sage actually came to Denver once. He was here, signed autographs. I was a young kiddo.
Impresionante.
Yeah.
Sage.
It was awesome, dude. Sage's a total beast.
Some people are gonna really laugh at that.
Yeah, like
But-
he was dope, dude. I loved Sage. Like
No,
he was
that's cool.
super kind. He signed
Nice.
my ball, which I lost.
Nice.
That was years ago, but
Nice.
he was a great guy, man. Sage was one of my favorite people that
I
I've
would-
ever met.
I would kill to meet Luis Hernandez.
You would kill to
Someday.
meet Luis Hernandez.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. All
All
right.
right, is this the last one?
I believe so. When did you get your first soccer jersey? You go first.
I got mine. Let's see. I was 4 years old, I believe, 4 or 5.
Wow.
My uncle came from Mexico, and he was a huge soccer fan, and he bought me the Aztec calendar.
Nice.
So I got a small Aztec calendar as a kid and rocked it everywhere I went.
Nice.
So that's the first memory I have of a World Cup kit, or
Well,
any kit at all.
Any kit, right?
That's
yeah.
That's actually the first ever
That's
kit
the
I got.
thing,
It
it
was a
could be-
Mexico kit.
Could be any kit. Yeah. It's similar. I had an uncle go to Mexico and he came back and I was like, hey, bring me something. He knew I played, but I didn't have jerseys at the time. He brought me an Atlante jersey. It was just fine, I guess.
I mean, the team that's
At
in
the
second
time.
division, all right.
Yeah, man, they crushed it in Cancun. But yeah, so something interesting that I'll always like. Oh yeah,
Algo
Atlante, my first
tranquilo.
jersey. Yeah, tranquis, and so yeah. it's
Shout
pretty
out
cool.
our uncles for bringing us.
Shout out
jerseys.
to the uncles, the
Yeah.
Mexican uncles, right? They get you in.
Los
they get you
Tios
the
always
jerseys.
hooking it up.
Los Tios hooking it up. Throwing on the boxing fights and stuff, and so you can always count on that. Beautiful memories. Great Cantaritos segment.
I actually really like that one.
Yeah.
I walked down memory lane. I remember so much being at a liquor store as
I
a
hope-
5-year-old. As a 10-year-old going into meet Sage.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, I hope we took a lot of people down memory lane as well.
Yeah.
And in the comments, please comment to us some of your answers to your own recuerdos de Cantaritos, because I really do love hearing everybody's different stories and what made you a fan, or what you remember.
Yeah, for sure. It was really fun. It was a great episode. It was one of the funnest episodes I've had in a while.
Yes, some lengthy conversations, but we're always super happy to share our thoughts with you guys. We love getting comments. So please comment, like, subscribe, tell a friend, or 500.
And also, the best way you can support us, guys, if you like what we do, please just listen to the pod, subscribe to the pod wherever you listen. It really helps us out. That's usually how we can show people that we're actually getting people to listen to us. So that's usually the best thing you can do if you want to support us.
Absolutely. So keep supporting. We'll catch you next time, familia.
Salud.
Nos vemos.